Hello wonderful person, this is Anton and welcome to day 2 of my misery when basically I destroyed my computer using just a little bit of water. Anyway, my computer is being currently repaired and so I decided to actually use something a little bit different. I do have a Surface Pro tablet that I use at work and I wanted to see if I can actually record some kind of a video with it, and this is actually what I'm doing right now. I should definitely review this tablet because it's actually absolutely awesome, so we'll take a look at it later on. But right now we're going to be using the Powder Toy, the awesome tool that I've reviewed a few months ago that it actually allows you to kind of go crazy with all kinds of sandbox tools. So let's actually do something a little bit different today. Well, first of all, this is actually a simulation just discovered by opening up these files right here, and there's one called space, and I thought I am going to open it up and then see what happens if we basically play the button. And look at that, the entire universe, the entire galaxy has been destroyed. Now there's actually quite a lot of these simulations, like especially space related, that are kind of interesting and really cool to basically either study things with, or like for example this is a very educational one, or to just play around with if you kind of just want to destroy things. So if I actually start playing this, you'll see that a lot of things don't go as well as they should, but these beautiful stars actually look really awesome. Look at how beautiful and how almost completely realistic this is. But this is not why I'm using Powder Toy today. The reason I wanted to use Powder Toy is because I actually wanted to see if I can recreate some sort of a planet, possibly Earth, from scratch using the realistic physical simulations in this particular video game. Or is it a video game? I guess it kind of is. Anyways, so we're going to create a new thingamajiggy here. And let's actually see, well, first of all, let's start with some kind of a solid foundation. So I'm going to put a little bit of, let's see, well, let's just put iron. Let's just put like a little dab of iron in the middle. Now, the solid foundation, or basically the solids in this game, don't actually interact with gravity, at least while they're solid. So basically you can build platforms using this. But I am going to enable ambient heat and also... what else? Let's change the gravity from vertical to radial because we want everything to be attracted to the middle. Also, I want some water simulation. All right, so we have our foundation, and you don't really need to start with this if you actually want to try this yourself. But what I'm going to do now is start adding stones, start adding silicates. Basically, because this is essentially going to be a planet or an object that is planetary-like, we're going to basically kind of simulate the clumping effect of various planetoids, various asteroids as they come together to form a larger object, to form possibly a planet. And I can basically keep doing this forever, but the thing is we want to warm this up as well. I found that one of the easiest ways to warm things up is, I guess this is kind of cheating in a sense, but maybe not. It's to basically start some sort of a nuclear reaction on the inside. So here I'm going to just add a little bit of plutonium. And actually, in real life, there used to be a lot of really highly radioactive materials on the inside of various asteroids, which is why many of the early planets were very hot. One of the more common elements was actually aluminum-26, which doesn't exist anymore. It disappeared completely from the existence, but it used to be very highly radioactive, and it would actually warm up a lot of these objects quite dramatically. And so let's see if we can possibly initiate a nuclear reaction here by blasting neutrinos. It's not working. I don't know why it's not working, but let's see if we can do this. Because I want to just basically create a big fireball. Oh, there was a little bit of fire in there, but that didn't do anything. Well, that's not a good start. So maybe we have to add more material. So let's just add a little bit more material. I don't really know why this didn't do anything. It was supposed to. Well, let's just keep playing. But this is actually such a beautiful simulation, such a beautiful tool. Alright, so in that case, we're going to go with more plutonium. Let's add more plutonium. Let's just cause this to be like super heated and super hot. And neutrinos, go. And nothing. Nothing once again. Nothing once again. Well, oh yeah, there's a little bit of reaction going on over there, but not exactly what I was hoping for. But look at that. That plutonium actually fell back to our protoplanet. Maybe there's a different way for me to warm things up. Can I possibly just add lava? Because I just saw it somewhere. What if I just add lava? Would that do anything? No, it doesn't do anything either, because lava just kind of falls to this beautiful planet and solidifies. Well, that's not a very good start. But I'm gonna just keep playing around until I find something. I do kind of like the plutonium idea though, because I know that it worked previously. Let's just chunk it. Let's put a big chunk right here and then neutrino blast it. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. And something happened. So look at that. We finally started a reaction that is going to melt our entire planetary object and turn it into essentially a fireball of about 15, 16, 17, 2000. Very hot. It's very, very hot. So it's going to stay this way for some time now. It's going to possibly also increase pressure. And essentially this is what the early planetary objects looked like, because due to the radioactive material on the inside that were essentially disintegrating, creating a lot of heat, many objects were kind of like this. And some objects in our solar system are still like that on the inside, including obviously our planet Earth. But with time, this would actually obviously cool down and become more solid. So I'm going to start adding water, because this is when water started coming in. Okay, this is not really where I want it to be. Water started to come in to our planet and essentially started to kind of first create atmosphere, but also deposit water layers on the surface. And this is going to be, it's probably going to take a while, because currently the temperature is like 7,000 degrees. Oh boy, that's very, very, very hot. A lot hotter than I wanted it to be. I think I may have done way too much plutonium, because what's happening now is I started a nuclear reaction. I started a chain reaction with the plutonium that you see right there, uranium and plutonium actually, basically burning and creating a lot of heat. Now, so what I've actually created is essentially almost like a star, and this might actually take a while for it to cool down. As a matter of fact, it's not cooling down. It seems to, the temperature seems to be going up. Yep. Yeah, this is definitely a nuclear reaction. Well, that was interesting. Not exactly what I wanted, but interesting. So this is how you create a star, everyone. Yay! Alright, I may have to restart. This is actually going to take forever to cool down. Even if I use a cooling tool, which is somewhere right here, it will take forever to cool down, because nuclear reaction will not stop. So let's start from scratch. Life. Alright, so let's do this again. We're going to put just a little bit of metal on the inside. This is under solids. A little bit of iron. And instead of putting rock, let's just put lava, because I kind of like that idea a little bit more. Let's just put lava right here. And oh no, I forgot to enable something. I forgot to enable radial gravity. And oh, look at that. This is awesome. And it's already kind of molten. Kind of ish. So maybe I can just do this. This is actually a much better idea. So here's our molten rock, molten lava. We're going to add a little bit more of iron to it, because it's iron core. And the iron is not melting, unfortunately. But let's see if we can melt it smartly by adding more lava. Where was it? Where is lava? Always miss it. Here it is. Just gonna do this. And this will actually melt it, and then possibly create a very, very large ball of stuff. You can kind of tell that the iron right there is actually melting. Alright, so is it actually melting? I think it is. It's increasing temperature, and at some point it will start actually to liquefy, or liquefy that is, and hopefully melt and mix up. So in this game, there's actually like mixing effects, and the heavier material, which would be in this case iron, should technically fall to the bottom. Technically. I don't know if it will, but it technically should. And if it doesn't, that's not good. But yeah, it's right here. I can kind of see it written certain iron right there. So it's right here still. It's not in the middle. In the middle we'll have a lot of... Oh yeah, there's a little bit of iron in the middle that already made it there. But we do seem to have mostly just a chunk of metal staying right here, because this is unfortunately not hot enough. Maybe we can add a little bit of plutonium. Just a little bit of plutonium to melt it. Let's see if this actually works. I didn't even have to use neutrinos. Look at that. It started a reaction by itself. And you can see iron right there. It's like red. The green stuff is plutonium. It's sort of being ejected. And this will hopefully mix this object a little bit more. No, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Neutrinos to the rescue. So neutrinos are essentially responsible for starting a nuclear reaction. And obviously creating a lot of heat. Alright, so this is kind of working, but not exactly as I planned. But we might actually start with this for now. So once neutrinos dissipate, we're going to have a very large object with a mixture of lava, and there's like some molten iron right there I can see. It just appeared a second ago. So essentially this is it. This is a protoplanet, proto-Earth. Let us go to liquids and begin depositing water. Or I can actually even put maybe ice. I think there was ice somewhere, but let's just start with water. So essentially water, as it's going to land on the surface here, is hopefully going to start cooling things down a little bit. And at some point, we might actually start having some sort of a hard shell surface. Now this is kind of what happened to Earth when, especially after the collision with so-called Theia, which was responsible for the creation of the moon. This is essentially what kind of happened. Slowly, piece by piece, the liquidy looking Earth, or I guess molten Earth, solidified and created a kind of a hard shell on the surface. Now, it wasn't really because someone was essentially blasting water on the surface. It was essentially because of really long time. With time, because essentially, because we're in space, right? This is really a cold environment. All of the heat started to dissipate and the surface slowly degraded and became more and more cool. And then water came from various comets and asteroids that landed on the surface, and this eventually resulted in large oceans and... Ooh, what's this? I pressed something. No, go back. Go away. No. I pressed the button by mistake. Anyway, so this is how many lakes and... Not many lakes, but all of the lakes and all of the oceans were created. So currently the temperature here is about 5,000, I think. Is it 5,000? 6,000. Okay, still a little bit too hot. Well, let's see if we can maybe solidify a part of it at least. I think we're getting close to the solidifying shell, because everything on the surface is now a little bit more orangey than yellow. And this actually has taken me quite a while, but this was kind of fun, just watching these circles and these spirals rotate. But yeah, so we're about to approach the hardening of the outer shell, and this will basically create the surface structure that we can then use to deposit more liquid water. Any moment now, it's already looking more like it's about to solidify, and let's see what we actually have on the inside as well, because hopefully by this time, the harder or the heavier materials like iron and plutonium will have sunk to the bottom, and we might only just have rock on the surface, which is what I'm hoping for. You can kind of see this is already it's about to solidify, it's about to become hard. So this sort of looks more and more like an egg, not a planet. Maybe this is how eggs are actually made, not planets. Ha ha ha. Okay, let's move on. No more jokes. This is a serious business. All right, so are you going to solidify or what? Why is this still mixing? It's back to just over 1,000 degrees. All right, so here we go. And as it's about to form the outer shell, I'm going to just put a little bit of water on the surface. And we're going to also try to create atmosphere. So I'm also going to add a little bit of CO2 and a little bit of oxygen as well. Now it looks like the core is, for some reason, shifted. It's not exactly in the center. And that's probably because I was mixing this so much and there were so many spirals going on that it kind of got shifted a little bit. But here we are about to have our first official handmade planet known as, I don't know, ANT01? Sure, ANT01. And so iron is about to solidify. It's the first to actually turn solid. Even though in our own planet, iron is actually still, for the most part, kind of molten and very hot. But this is not a perfect simulation of reality, so obviously this will happen slightly different. Is this solid yet? Yeah, there we go. First stone. Look at that. And this is very red. I don't really know why. So let's wait a little bit more. Let's actually see if we can gently solidify the surface without causing too much stuff to disappear. And beautiful. This is kind of what I was looking for. So we have a very large iron core, not exactly spherical, but that's okay. And then we have stone, or essentially a very hard silicate layer on the surface. And it's slowly cooling down by itself now, with molten plutonium in the middle. That's basically how we heated up everything. Iron, and just a little bit of stone. So now we can actually add atmosphere and water. So I'm just going to gently place them on the surface. I think it's still a little bit too hot. It's actually 600 degrees. Never mind, we don't have to be gentle. We need to cool this down until liquid water can actually exist. But this is essentially a rocky core, Earth, but possibly one of the asteroids, or possibly one of the smaller dwarf planets may have actually formed this way, because they're now all completely solid. They're frozen with time. Like for example, many of the dwarf planets I've taken a look at may actually have just this on the inside, like Makemake for example. And there might also be a little bit of liquid water underneath the shell. But we're going to try to create a liquid ocean on the surface with just a little bit of atmosphere. And I think we're about to have that liquid ocean, because the surface is getting to just under 100 degrees Celsius. Look at this awesome interaction. It's creating both the atmosphere and the liquid ocean. And I also need to start adding more gases. Like for example, let's actually add a little bit of oxygen, or a lot of oxygen, and also CO2 as well. And continue adding a little bit of water, because I think it's gone again, it's evaporated. But the temperature is now 80 degrees Celsius, so we should have liquid water, and we can kind of see liquid water right there. And it's basically going to mix up with all of this other stuff and create a kind of a uniform layer, hopefully, on the surface of this beautiful planet, ANT1. I think that's what I named it, right? There we go. So here we go. So this is essentially a newly created, manually created planet with just a little bit of liquid ocean, obvious layer of atmosphere that's right here on top, and some other stuff flying in the vicinity. Now, this is obviously not the perfect representation of how planets look, but this is as close as we would get using Powder Toy, and definitely a relatively close representation of what may have actually happened a long time ago, and how our Earth was created, and how the atmosphere was later added, and obviously how the liquid ocean was created as well. Now with time, this will actually just kind of mix up and become a very uniform layer of everything, but even now it's already looking more and more like an actual planet. Anywho, so that's all I wanted to mention in this video, and hopefully this is not too disappointing, because I cannot unfortunately use either Universe Sandbox or Space Engine to repair my old computer. Anyway, so hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share this video, and possibly share this with someone who you think may actually enjoy it as well. Powder Toy is a free tool, it's available online, and you can download it from the link in the description below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching, game you later, and this is actually looking more and more like an actual planet now. Huh, awesome. Anyway, see you later, bye bye.